The big picture on the portfolio is, as you see on the right hand side, the red bar, the light orange bar, the manufacturing, capex, and corporate lender. This is 24% of our portfolio. And this is where we believe that the resurgence of India that we will see post the COVID world will be incredibly strong. It is led by broadly 2-3 things. One, we are ending up with the strongest ever balance sheet that India will land up as. The government's balance sheet remains very strong. The corporate balance sheet remains very strong, and the bank's balance sheet remains very strong. Whenever all the three balance sheets are very strong, we have often seen from our experience in the past that the corporate capex cycle always picks up. There may be a lead lag of maybe 1 year or 1.5 years, somewhere thereabouts, but eventually this seems to be a writing on the wall. And this is the first time all the three balance sheets are looking so in such fine shape. The last time we saw this happening was way back in 2006. And we all know what happened in that bull run of 2005 to 2008. The second large allocation in a portfolio is consumer discretionary, which is almost taking 25% share. Now, these two allocations, in our view, is where we differentiate ourselves from probably any other portfolio out there, where we have pivoted a lot more on these two and the theme called insurance, which is about 15% of the portfolio. And then comes real estate, which is another 6% of the portfolio, where we believe real estate cycle has bottomed, and we will continue to see Indians buying more houses as we go into the future. However, our view is that to play the real estate, there are two ways of playing real estate. One is you play the real estate builders themselves, and the second is you play the financiers. I believe more than the real estate prices going up sharply in a hurry, I think the velocity or the number of houses being sold will increase dramatically. And when you want to play the number of houses story, every house typically gets financed in a country like India. So housing finance becomes a strong port of call with high corporate governance, high clean accounting practices, and very, very reasonable valuations compared to the real estate developers. And that is why value portfolio is again positioned very nicely on that theme. As you all know, that 70% of the portfolio remains very differentiated, different from away from the index and active portfolio. 55% of the portfolio is very strongly positioned towards the domestic story. As I alluded to before, this is where what we think is that the housing cycle has bottomed. The real estate cycle has also bottomed, given that most of the real estate developers have raised a lot of money, have cleared up their inventories, and are approaching to healthy balance sheet levels. And as I told you before, what COVID did is a miracle, which is in terms of that we are seeing the strongest ever government balance sheet, strongest ever corporate balance sheet, a strongest ever bank balance sheet. All of this will mean that the risk aversion that was there in the banking system will reduce, and there will be more willingness from the lending financials to actually lend towards against a housing finance, against a house. With that, all you needed is willingness of the consumer to go out there and buy a house. And we believe that the time is absolutely right, given how for the last 10 years, real estate prices haven't gone anywhere. They have literally generated very, very low IRRs. And in this phase of 10 years, incomes of every individual has risen. As a result, the affordability index of a particular house that you would have aspired to buy 10 years ago is very, very high today. And as the real estate has become affordable, banks are more willing to lend. And we believe real estate developers, thanks to RERA, are actually completing the projects on time. All these three things are extremely positive towards more Indians buying more number of houses. And as they do, there will be requirement for financing. And that's why we believe a better real estate proxy to play is the housing finance. And in this, we have two names, which is Home First and LIC Housing. One is in the affordable segment, one is in above affordable segment. We do not own HDFC Limited, which is again where the differentiation comes through, because we believe HDFC Limited remains a good stock, just that unfortunately a lot of the value of HDFC Limited nowadays comes from its subsidiaries, which is not into housing finance. And also the fact that most of these subsidiaries are listed, so we can actually take direct exposure into them in the form of the AMC or the life insurance.